unfortunately almost knocked this young lady up that was from South Dakota. And she lived on a reservation, yeah.
Oh.
And she like threatened to have the baby.
Oh, damn. How old were you?
37 this year. It was this year. And she wouldn't even be cool. She threatened to have the baby, dude. And I just met her at a motel. Yeah. And she threatened to have a baby, man.
Became one of the most unique and recognizable voices in the comedy podcast world. Known for his wild stories, southern charm, unpredictable train of thought, Theo has cultivated a massive audience that loves him for being genuinely himself. But recently, a growing number of people have started asking questions. Whether it's the blurred line between comedy and misinformation, his occasional misfires on sensitive topics, or his increasing dependence on shock value. Some are starting to wonder, is there a problem with Theo Vaughn?
And I was making like a nice smoothie and I'm fucking coked up, I'm partying, you know, I'm living high on the hog, got these 2 vests on maybe, right? And I thought I heard something outside, right? Which is kind of weird to even think of when you have a blender going, right? So I leave out of my apartment to go in the hallway, lock myself out with the blender going, 2:30 in the morning, coked up out of my brain, right? Now I have to go to my landlord, dude, who lives right down the hall, and tell him like, hey man,
2:30 in the morning, I got locked out, and the blender's on, son. Oh my God.
He was young, he would shit in his yard, make me bury it, and that's how I was allowed to be friends with him.
How did he make you bury it?
He just asked me to do it, and I was afraid not to do it, I think.
He said, hey, yo, dude, you're not going to believe this, but I took a shit, and it's out my yard. I can't even bury it because I'll throw up. Hey, do me a favor and go bury it?
Yeah. He was dark, man. He had a real dark vision. And he would, I mean, he probably, honestly, dude, he probably shit 200, 300 times, and I buried it.
No.
To understand the current controversy, we need to rewind a little. Theo Vaughn first entered the public eye in the early 2000s on MTV's Road Rules. What started as a reality TV stint slowly transformed into a stand-up comedy career. But his real breakthrough? Podcast. Theo's appearance on the Joe Rogan podcast and this past weekend gave him the perfect platform for his offbeat humor, bizarre metaphors, and steam of conscious storytelling. Audiences found him refreshing, honest, and hilariously weird. You never really know what Theo was going to say next, and that became his brand.
Strong, bro.
Is
I saw
it?
a virgin.
Wild.
Oh, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh, somebody parked a Volkswagen Rabbit on this guy's leg one time outside of our schoolhouse, and I saw a virgin lift it right off his leg.
Wild. Yo, what?
And this was in, who knows when it was.
Every scene is from like the movie Powder. Every scene, it's amazing.
What are you talking about?
Theo's strength is also his biggest risk. His unfiltered, off-the-cuff style means he rarely prepares what he's going to say, leading to moments that range from genius to completely problematic. Theo often dips into taboo topics, sometimes with little understanding of the deeper implications. He plays a character that's part philosopher, part redneck, and part 4 a.m. fever dream. And while that unpredictably is part of his appeal, it's also what landed him in hot water.
Polls aren't looking at the Republicans who want to vote for me or the independents.
Some people say that that the Republican Party like set you up to take. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I hear that I'm like a stalking horse for Trump, and all I can say is,
I don't believe that, Bobby. I'm just asking you. I don't believe that.
Well, you should ask me. I mean, you shouldn't do it publicly like you just did. But
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No, you should ask me.
Yeah. I didn't.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem with that. First of all, if the Democrats make rules that say I cannot win, and then they complain about me running somewhere else, it's like it's like a guy who murders his parents and then throws himself on the mercy of the court because he's an orphan.
Yeah.
They're They're trying to get public sympathy for a problem that they created.
I hate when I see Bananas Foster on the menu. You know, that's how it goes. But no, I see what you're saying. It's almost like they're playing two cards that are trying to do two different things, but one of them kind of concedes that there's some truth in the other one.
Yeah, but and then the other thing is that I take more votes from President Trump than I do from President Biden.
Right, so why would that help them?
Yeah, it's not helping them.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that.
One of the most notable controversies happened during an episode of this past weekend, featuring Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an outspoken vaccine skeptic. Theo provided a massive platform without pushing back much on some of RFK's most questionable claims, leading many to accuse him of spreading misinformation. Critics argued that Theo's role as a host comes with responsibility, especially when the topics aren't funny. But Theo disagrees, and that raises a fundamental question. Where does the line between comedy and accountability actually lie?
I love my dad, but I've also always been a little bit angry at him. I was 16 when he passed away, and he was 86. And other kids would make fun of him, and then I kind of made fun of him. I would make the excuse, well, he shouldn't have had a kid when he was that old. What was he thinking? I think maybe I was afraid to get to know him because I knew he was going to pass away. So it was probably like safer to not get to know him. You know, when we would walk somewhere, I would walk kind of far behind him or away from him, you know, because he wasn't the way that I wanted him to be. And I could have had more memories with him if I hadn't judged my father so much. I wish somebody had taught me to have more pride in my family when I was young.
He's been open about his struggles with addiction, depression, and the pressure of fame. Many fans defend Theo by saying he's not trying to be right, he's trying to be real. And sometimes real people say dumb things. Others believe that if you're going to be broadcasting to millions every week, you can't just be real. You have to be responsible too.
Is finishing up, and it's coming to Oxford, Mississippi on April 9th, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Chicago, Illinois, Miami, Florida, Winnipeg, and Calgary in the Canada. You can get all your tickets at theovon.com/TOUR. And thank you guys so much for your support.
Despite the criticism, Theo's career continues to grow. His fan base is loyal, his clips still go viral, and his ability to walk the line between absurd and insightful is still unmatched. But as podcasting continues to evolve and audiences become more critical, it's unclear whether Theo can keep doing what he's doing, or if the very thing that made him famous will eventually become his biggest liability.
The whole time.
Why? You'd seen your body before.
They've never seen my body, though.
Right, but what are you laughing at?
Because they're laughing at my body.
Oh, okay.
They're laughing so hard, it makes me want to laugh.
I thought you've been waiting your whole life to see your body, and this is when you decided to do it.
No, that's not it. I had seen my body. Do I have mirrors?
Yeah, but you could also not see your body if you want. Like, I'll go sometimes, you know, I remember one time I went like 8 months without seeing my leg.
Theo Von isn't a villain, but he's also not untouchable. He's a reminder that in the age of endless content, authenticity is both a superpower and a loaded weapon. Whether you love him or you hate him, one thing's for sure, there's no one else quite like Theo Von.